next speaker that we have with us today is Srirama Chakradhar. Srirama Chakradhar ji, he is, amongst other things, he is author of Thavasami, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, and correct me if I'm wrong.
You may
his
display
topic for
your book,
today-
Sriram ji. You may display your book. It is in 4 volumes.
It is, yes. It is a fabulous book, actually. While I have not read it as yet, but particularly the mind maps part of it, which you have mentioned, is something which is so contemporary and which is something that I'm pretty sure would be very useful for people, who are coming to it in very short time and want to read it. Just a few words about Sri Ramaji. Present life and skills through the lens of Ramayana is the most methodical approach. Srirama Chakradhar has started his research on our rich Vedic scriptures, especially Sri Valmiki Ramayana, 10 plus years ago. Tavasmi, Manasvi, and the current Tapasvi are his brain creations. Tavasami series of conversations and books are first of its kind practical guides and pedagogical models, in his view, in the entire world, which aims to make a human out of a man. He strongly believes that service and spirituality are two sides of the same coin. A passionate teacher and personality development trainer by choice, Sri Rama believes in addressing the roots than on ephemeral cosmetic solutions. With that, I welcome you, Sri Ramaji, to present on the topic that you have chosen for us today. Over to you.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I hope my voice is audible.
Yes, I am able to hear you.
Yes, everybody. Thank you so much. So let me start by offering my praise to the lineage of Acharyas, which acted through many people and passed this tradition to us. Kasyapanvaya sanjatam narayana padashritam Srimannarayanam vande yatisvara sriyadusham Yo nityamachyuta padam bhuja yugma rukma vyamohatastaditara nitrinaya mene Asmadguror bhagavato asya dayeka sindho Ramanujasya charanau saranam prapadye Buddhir balam yasodhairyam nirbhayatvam arogata Ajadyam vakpatutvam cha hanumat smaranat bhavet Om Asmadgurubhyo namaha. Thank you one and all for inviting me to speak about Ramayana in this, before this great audience. I was just going through the talks that all the speakers have presented. I am really fortunate to stand in front of all of them and speak about a bit that I have acquired over a period of time. So see, the topic that I have chosen is conflict resolution in Ramayana. As the name goes, Dharma Sankatam. I will try to simplify things of Dharma from the lens of Ramayana, and then maybe I'll present 2 or 3 case studies based upon the time limit that we have, and then we'll try to understand what Dharma Sankatam was there, and then how was it resolved, and what could have been done better. Okay, so let me share my presentation. So before I begin, we have come up with a book called this Tavasmi after 10 years of research. Let me present you honestly. When I started, being a graduate from BITS Pilani and having wonderful job offers, I was, pulled by the material comforts and the luxuries that are there. But when the inner craving starts, you approach a guru. So that is when I approached my teacher, my Acharya, Chinnajiyar Swamiji, and he told me one thing, that children are like white papers. They are like white papers, and whatever you write on them, they will reflect the same. So what you write on them is a choice that we have to make. So then started this research on Ramayana. And then I found Ramayana is a great book, Bhagavad Gita is a great book, Mahābhārata is a great book. They have a lot of solutions for our problems. And then I thought I'll write a 150 pages to 200 pages book and I'll become an author. So this is my expectation from life. I'll try to write a book and then I'll publish 2 or 3 books or whatever it is, 200 pages or 100 pages, and become an author and become a celebrity. That is how my thoughts were so immature at that time. But the moment I started reading Valmiki Ramayana, the original text, the Valmiki Ramayana original text, then I understood it is not easy to present the intricacies or the value systems that is present in this Valmiki Ramayana. Forget about each sloka. Every single syllable that is present teaches us a lot. This is what I have understood since last 12 years of my experience and research on Ramayana, Valmiki Ramayana. So then it took 8 years for me to understand and produce a book called Tavasmi. And the uniqueness of this book, or this attempt, I would like to call it, or this model, which we aspire it to be, is we wanted this to be a textbook for the students. We wanted this to be a textbook. So when we researched, there is no value system, there is no textbook written from our scriptures. So you take any religion, there are no practical guides. So, adapting them to the current academic models. So we thought we will embark on this journey, and then we started this journey. And fortunately, with God's grace and like-minded people, support from the people like you, this was launched by the Vice President of India, Venkaiah Naidu Garu, at from the Vice President House on 26th November 2020. So we had try to give you the perspective of life through the lens of Ramayana. So let us understand what is the purpose of Rama, what is Dharma. Lot of people speak about Dharma. The definition that is there in our scriptures is Dharayate iti Dharmaha. Dharma is Dharayate. You have to practice it. When I say Dharayate, it is practicing Dharma. How do you practice it? By speaking a lot about it or by following it is the question. Now, there are many people, there is a saying in our scriptures, Parapadesa Velayam Sarve Vyasa Parasara. I hope all of you must have understood. This, when we are recommending or giving advices to others, we become, so intellectuals that we talk about Dharma Sukshma, and we talk like Parasara and Vyasa Maharshi. But when it comes to implementing in our life, we falter, we fumble on these concepts. So then how do we, learn real Dharma? In Bhagavad Gita, it is said, Yadyat acharati sreshtaha tattat eve sarojanaha sayat pramanam kurute lokastadanu vartate. What becomes pramanam? What is Dharma? It is written in some books. It might be written in some books, but ultimately the manifestation of this Dharma into practice through these role models. That is what becomes Dharma established, gets established as Dharma. That is what people will follow. So to establish a role model out of him, Lord Vishnu came down to this earth in the form of Ravana, in the form of Rama, to counter the atrocities of Ravana. So now you understand, let us try to understand the context in which the discussion was going on. Dasaratha was not having children, so he decided to do Putrakameshti, and he was performing it. All the devatas assembled in the sky to take their oblations. In the yaga, in the ritual, they offer a lot of things to each devata, right? Indra, Varuna, Agni, Vayu. Everybody will be having Brahma, everybody will have their own part. So to collect them, everybody were there. When all of them met, they were discussing about the atrocities of Ravana. Then Sri Mahavishnu has appeared and told that, don't worry, I will take a lead. And then, this is what he has promised. Bhayam tyajata badramvo hitardham yudiravanam saputra pautram samatyam samitra gnati bandhavam hatva kuram duradarsham Devarshinam Bhayavaham. You don't worry, I am going to protect you from the atrocities of Ravana. I will eliminate him through all kith and kin of him. So don't worry about it. But Vishnu did not stop there, Lord Vishnu. He said that Dasavarsha Sahasrani, Dasavarsha Satanicha, Vatsyami Manushe Loke Palayan Prithivimimam. If you just go to the timeline of Ramayana, Rama was sent to exile at an age of 24 years. And he came back from exile, maybe 38, 39 years. Towards the end of his exile, he killed Ravana. Well, at 39 years, Rama has, when at 39 years, Rama has killed Ravana, what is the purpose of him living for so long? 11,000 years. That is what the sloka says. So, according to Devatas, the purpose of Rama is to eliminate Ravana. But according to Vishnu, he is clearly telling us that Vatsyami Manushe Loke, I will be in the human world. I will be like a human. Palayan Prithivimimam, I will rule this earth. How will I rule this earth? As a role model. I will rule this earth as a role model, establish how a role model should be, how a perfect human should be, and then my purpose will be solved. So the very purpose of incarnation of Rama is to establish humanity, is to establish an icon of humanity, is to make sure all the Purusharthas are satisfied, appropriately, reasonably well. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, that is what we call as Purusharthas, right? There is a secret, if you observe, there is a secret in the numbers that is there in Ramayana. Dasaratha means 10. He can drive his chariots in 10 different directions. How many wives he had? 3 wives. What are the names of those wives? Kausalya, Sumitra, Kaikeyi. How many children were born? 4. Who are they? Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata, and Shatrugna. Is there any relation if you observe? A person, a human, is having 10 indriyas. With his 10 indriyas and 3 modes of operation, Sattva, Tamas, and Rajas, he will beget or he will acquire 4 Purusharthas, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. So Dasaratha is representing a human. 3 wives of Dasaratha are representing the Sattva, Tamu, and Rajogunas. And the children that Dasaratha has got, they are representing the Purusharthas that one should attain or fulfill or acquire, in his life. Now the catch is, what is Rama representing? What is Bharata representing? What is Shatrugna representing? And what is Lakshmana representing? So Rama is representing Dharma. Bharata is representing Moksha. Now there are twins in our life. Who are those twins? Artha, Kama. Whenever there is more money, you develop more desires. Whenever there is more desire, you want more money. Right? So Artha, Kamas are twins. They always are together. So Ramayana teaches us, separate these twins. Separate these twins and give Lakshmana to Rama. That means Lakshmana is representing the Artha Bhaga. That means earning. Earning should be righteously earned, spent righteously. So Lakshmana is always with Rama. Next comes Kama, desire. Desire for liberation. Shatrugna always served Bharata. Is it clear? So there are 4 Purusharthas. Out of them, 2 are twins, Artha and Kama. So always make sure your Artha follows Dharma and your Kama follows Moksha. Moksha doesn't mean afterlife. Moksha is something, you experience right now. How free are you? How free are you at this moment? How, practical are you in the knowledge that you have gained? That is what makes us liberated, right? So these 4, children of Dasaratha is representing 4 Purusharthas that we have to acquire. How? The secret is, make sure Artha follows Dharma and Kama follows Moksha. If you see the names of these 4 sons of Dasaratha, Vasishtha Maharshi has named them so intelligently. Lakshmana he has named Lakshmivan Lakshmanaha. What is Lakshmivan? What is Lakshmivan? Lakshmivan means he is very rich. If you observe the life of Lakshmana, right from his birth, he was always serving Rama. He was never a king, he was never a prince, he never had riches. He has to leave his back at Ayodhya to go to exile to serve Rama. There is never a wealth that Lakshmana has experienced materially. But the true wealth lies in the service of a dharmic person. This is what Vasishtha has envisaged for the name of Lakshmana. So now, what is dharma? If somebody asks me, I will just say, what Rama did is dharma, what Rama did not do is adharma. In one simple sentence. There are a lot of subtleties of dharma. Dharma, there are different types of dharma, like Samanya dharma, Vishesha dharma. Dharma is dynamic, dharma is timely, it is robust, it is complex. Lot of things, lot of components are there. But to simplify it, what is dharma? What Rama has done is dharma. What Rama has not done is adharma. Now, let us see the components of dharma. Knowledge is the primary component of dharma. Practice. And what is this knowledge giving us? A lot of people say dharma is an obligation. Dharma is a duty. It is not a forceful thing. Dharma is a set of guidelines which is required for harmonious living in the society. When I say harmony, harmony between what? Harmony between what? Now you see, a person exists in these dimensions. I exist at a soul level. I exist at my family level. I exist at a society level. I exist at an environmental level. And I exist at a spiritual level. These many levels is where we are existing at every moment. Every moment we exist at all these levels. Are we living harmoniously in all these levels? And to live harmoniously, sustainably at all these levels, what is required is dharma. Those set of guidelines which guides us, which establishes a process to live a harmonious and sustainable living is dharma. This is, to simply put, what is dharma. To address this dharma, let us understand the components of dharma. What are the components of dharma? There are 2 components, Samanya dharma, Vishesha dharma. Samanya dharma, as we all know that, it is the material responsibilities that we have. How do we behave with our father, with our mother, with our sister, with a friend, with an enemy, with a teacher, with an office? All these encompasses your Samanya dharma. Rama stood as an epitome of this Samanya dharma. Now comes Vishesha dharma. Vishesha dharma means, let us take an example. You take a soldier. When you take a soldier, he too has his own family. Soldiers have their own families. They have their own kids. They have to take care of them. But still, that dharma is kept aside and living for the country is taken as priority. So when you live for a larger purpose, when you grow above the mundane things, this, and you discharge your responsibilities, that is when you become, or when you are discharging Vishesha dharma. So Samanya dharma and Vishesha dharma are not separate, they are always existing together. Whenever there is a conflict, we have to give priority to Vishesha dharma. This is what Ramayana teaches us. Let us see how that is presented in Ramayana. So dharma sankata, whenever there is a conflict, which one should take precedence? That is what is all about, right? So Samanya dharma and Vishesha dharma are always present in us. As a father, as a child, I have to take care of my children and my parents respectively. But when it comes to living for the society, when it comes to living for our scriptures, dharmam, desam, daivam, I think we have to compromise certain elements in our life. Definitely without compromise, without sacrificing these elements, you can't become somebody who can do some constructive things. You see the life of great leaders. They have a lot of, they strain the personal lives. Unless you sacrifice something, you can't achieve something which is for a larger purpose. So this is what Vishesha Dharma is all about. Let us take the case of Rama. Rama is called Maryada Purushottama because he knows something called Maryada. Maryada means boundary. Maryada means boundary. What do you mean by boundary? Boundary means the limit in a relationship. Am I talking to my father? What is my limit? Am I talking to my mother? What is my limit? I am behaving with my wife. What is the limit? With my children, what is the limit? Rama knows, or Rama is the scale for a human. When you want to draw a line, straight line without any deviations, you need to use a scale. That scale is Rama. If you want to draw a line representing humanity, you just draw Rama. That is representing humanity. Rama is embodiment of Dharma. Who told this? Who told this? Rama is embodiment of Dharma. Ramo Vigrahavan Dharmaha. This was not said by Vasishta. This was not said by Vishwamitra. This was not said by Dasarada. This was not said by Sita. This was said by Maricha, who was punished by Rama. When Ravana goes and asks Maricha, hey Maricha, I wanted your help, man. Kindly help me in abducting Sita. Then Maricha says, are you mad or what? Rama is embodiment of Dharma. Why do you want to fight with him? You will lose that battle. Maybe you will get temporary gain, but you will definitely lose the battle. Trust me. This is what Maricha has told us. Rama is embodiment of Dharma. Now comes, what is the role played Lakshmana, Bharata and Shatrugna? Lakshmana, you see, whatever he has done, he has always done everything and anything to stay in the company of Rama. He left his father, he left his mother, he left his wife, he left his comforts. Everything he has left, but the only thing he desired was the company of Rama and the service of Rama. This is coming out of the Vedic principle called Ananya Seshatvam. Ananya Seshatvam. Ananya Seshatvam means I don't belong to anybody else other than this person. This is Ananya Seshatvam. Now understand Bharata. If you see Bharata did not desire to be in the company of Rama, but Bharata always wanted to be in the mission of Rama. Whatever is Rama's goal, whatever is Rama's thought, whatever is Rama's mission, I just have to be a part or an instrument in the hands of Rama. So Bharata's life was like that only. So hence Bharata was, away from Rama during the exile. In fact, Bharata wanted very strongly to be with Rama. But by accepting the command of Rama, he went back and ruled Ayodhya as a mere instrument in the hands of Rama. This is called Paratantrata. Paratantrata means I am a mere instrument in the hands of Rama. So the opposite word of Paratantrata is Swatantrata. So Swatantrata, freedom, is something which is present in Samanya Dharma. But when it comes to Vishesha Dharma, we behave as a mere instrument in the hands of the higher purpose. It may be a goal, it may be God, it may be a mission, anything. But we become a mere instrument in the hands of that mission. Next, Shatrugna, if you see, that time of Rama, everybody was moved by the beauty and character, conduct of Rama. But Shatrugna always was dedicated to Bharata. So this is telling that Bhagavata Seshatvam. Bhagavata Seshatvam means if somebody is in the service of God, I will serve those people who are in the service of God. That is my prime role. So three components of Vishesha Dharma are Ananya Seshatvam. I don't belong to anything else than my goal. Paratantrata, I am a mere instrument in the hands of my goal. I will do everything to satisfy and pursue my goal. Third, I will be in the company of those people who are in a similar mission. This is called Bhagavata Seshatvam. So what are the three principles or components of Vishesha Dharma? Ananya Seshatvam, Paratantrata and Bhagavata Seshatvam. These are displayed. See, if you see, Rama alone did not display the entire Dharma. Rama along with Lakshmana, Bharata and Shatrugna have displayed what Dharma is encompassing of. Samanya Dharma, yes, Rama has displayed. Of course, there are situations where Rama has displayed Vishesha Dharma as well. But Rama stood as an epitome of Samanya Dharma. There are situations where Lakshmana, Bharata, Shatrughna also followed Samanya Dharma, but they stood as an epitome to represent the components of Vishesha Dharma. So, whenever we get a conflict, for example, let us take the case of Lakshmana. There was a case where he wanted to stay, he should stay back and start serving his parents. And another case is to come out with Rama and start serving Rama. What is Vishesha Dharma here? Serving the mission of Rama or serving the purpose of Rama has become Vishesha Dharma. Hence, he left what is Samanya Dharma. Now, the question comes here. So, in every situation, do we really leave the Samanya Dharma and adopt only Vishesha Dharma? In life, 99.99% of the cases, there is no such conflict. We can definitely handle them harmoniously. There are only certain situations where we really have to resolve these conflicts. And those conflicts definitely can be resolved taking the case studies of Lakshmana, Bharata, Shatrughna, Hanuman, Sugriva, Sita. These all stood as an epitome of Vishesha Dharma. So whenever we discuss about Dharma, we talk about two components, Samanya Dharma and Vishesha Dharma. So we have to achieve both these Dharmas at all these levels. Remember, these two aspects of Dharma are traveling all the way, in all through life, in all these dimensions of life. Are we able to discharge these responsibilities? This is what is life all about. And this is the case study of Ramayana. And trust me, before 10 years, when we started doing this research, 10, 12 years before, researching Ramayana, we were always thinking Ramayana is just another document. But every personality present in Ramayana, every emotion present in Ramayana, every situation present in Ramayana addresses the daily conflicts that we undergo. So, it is a rich document which is trivialized and presented to us. So unfortunately, we are not able to understand the intricacies of that because there are a lot of books which have come up in the, in the society. I don't want to call it a market. I want to call it a society. There are a lot of books that have come up, and few have exploited the society and made it a market by adding their own flavors to Ramayana. So if Ramayana is understood intact, it is so beautiful, enriching, and transforming for us. Okay. So now let us understand why do we have conflicts in Dharma? When we know that what is Dharma, why do we have conflict in Dharma? Number one, it is lack of knowledge. So to address that, Rama himself came as the embodiment of Dharma. There is a verse in our scriptures which says, Veda Vedye Pare Pumsi Jate Dasarathatmaje Vedaha Pracetasadaasit Sakshat Ramayanatmana. All of us know that Veda is an embodiment of lot of science, righteousness, so many things. But to understand it, we don't know. It is huge. It is huge that we can't acquire in one's lifetime. And we go to the next lifetime, again, we don't know where do we start. So, to simplify it for us, that Veda came down to this earth in the form of Ramayana. And what is Veda talking about? Veda is talking about Veda Vedya. Somebody who was spoken by or explained or tried to be explained by Vedas is called Veda Vedya. And Vedas tried to explain what this supreme being or God is. And finally it concluded, you are so great that I cannot explain you. The entire rich Vedic mass started to, it embarked on a journey to describe what is the supreme being, what are the qualities that this supreme being has. But finally it concluded, you are so great that I cannot explain you. So it admitted its limitation to explain about this supreme being. So such a supreme being, how do we understand? To make us understand that better, that supreme being much better, Rama came, the Veda Vedya came down as Dasarathatmaja, as Rama. So Veda Vedye Pare Pumsi Jate Dasarathatmaje. So somebody who was tried to explain by Vedas came down as the son of Dasharatha. Vedaha prachetasa dasit sakshat Ramayana. Prachetasa means Valmiki. Valmiki Maharshi's another name is Prachetasa. This Valmiki Maharshi, this Ramayana, the Veda came down as Ramayana through Valmiki. So now there are two fathers here. Who are those? One is Dasharatha, who became the father of the Supreme Being. Valmiki, who became the father of Veda in the form of Ramayana. So this is a beautiful verse which gives us, if you wanted to understand Dharma, look at Ramayana. Now there are two things, Ramayana and Mahābhārata. How do we resolve? Actually, the name of Mahābhārata is Bharatam. It is Bharata. Then why did it become Mahābhārata? Why are we not calling it as Bharata or something else? Mahābhārata means great Bharata. See, this Ramayana and Mahābhārata are like mirrors for us. Mirrors means Ramayana gives you a honest lifestyle, a dharmic lifestyle, a perfect match. How can we live life? Now Mahābhārata gives us a realistic life. So what actually is going to be there? Look at the Mahābhārata, look into the mirror of Mahābhārata, identify where you are fitting in. And similar character is present in Ramayana, and that character is transformed in one or the other way. So how do you transform? So the problems are presented in Mahābhārata and the solutions are presented in Ramayana. So these are acting as mirrors. These two epics, itihasas, they are not mythologies. I would like to emphasize that these are not mythologies. These are epics, itihasas. Itihasa means it happened like this. So it is the documentation of history. These itihasas present us living case studies for us. So, when you read these two, you gain the knowledge of Dharma. Now comes, okay, I have gained the knowledge. Still, there is a lot of confusion about, Dharma. Then why? What can be the reason? It is not lot of conviction, it is lack of conviction. Lack of conviction. What is this lack of conviction? See, I know what recently, one of our speakers have told us, I think G.V. Shivkumar ji have said us that Duryodhana knows what is Dharma, but he don't want to follow it. So he knows what is Dharma, he knows what is knowledge, what is Jnana, but he don't want to practice it. So we know the knowledge of what is appropriate and reasonable, and there is something called inclinating towards convenience and compulsions. So which is the driving force? There is one force which is acting towards knowledge. There is another force which is acting towards our convenience and compulsions. Which is taking over the other? That decides how rooted are we to Dharma. Once you are rooted to Dharma, automatically a lot of confusions will get addressed. Third one, which is the major mistake that is being done by most of us, is making a hero out of hypocrites. There are a lot of people who comes and talks about Dharma, but if you observe their life, it is totally confused, hypocritical. They speak one thing and they do one thing. For example, you take Rama versus Ravana. Ravana is embodiment of knowledge. All of us know it. Ravana is an embodiment of knowledge. He is an embodiment of tapas, which nobody else could do. But entire knowledge that he has acquired, entire powers that he has acquired, he used it for the destruction of society and he used it for the destruction of himself. So the knowledge that he has used has never come to his own benefit or for the benefit of the society that he represented. You see Rama more or less equal in Jnana, but every bit of action that he has done is strongly rooted in the knowledge that is there. So who should become a role model? Arjuna versus Karna. Arjuna versus Karna. You see Karna, there are movies being taken on the name of Karna saying Dana, Veera, Sura, Karna. But was there any movie made on Arjuna that Dana, Veera, Sura, Arjuna or something? Unfortunately, the commercial elements of these movies or the TV channels or whatever it is, they are commercializing these elements to promote the hypocrites, because hypocrisy, confusion, negativity spreads much faster, is more appealing. If Karna was so dharmic, why can't he question the episode of disrobing of Draupadi? He could not. There are a lot of episodes in Mahābhārata which gives us where Karna has failed in applying his intellect. Where Karna has failed in applying his intellect. So, we have to make sure we set right examples for the generations to come. What they choose. In this person, what are you going to choose? In Arjuna, see, there are definitely certain weaknesses in every personality that is present. So we have to present a proper case study that these are something which we have to learn. Take example of Vishwamitra. The journey of Vishwamitra, which is presented in Ramayana, is so transformational. He started as a greedy king, selfish king, arrogant king, and he transformed himself into Brahmarshi. And finally, he surrendered entire Dhanurveda he has acquired through great amount of penance in front of Rama. And there are a lot of failures in his life. If you take that failure as a role model for us, then we are going to do something which is adharmic. But how he transformed or overcame that particular thing, if that is taken as an example for us, then we transform ourselves and represent Dharma. Right? So, from my perspective, three major lacunae or challenges that Dharma is facing today is we are not making attempts to know what is Dharma. Second, even after knowing, we are always driven by our compulsions rather than by choices. Third, the role models that we look up to. These are the three things which are slightly, to an extent, they are making people more confused. Okay, so let us take. Let me present two case studies and very quickly, and then let us understand how they could have been resolved. Let us take the case study of Vali and Sugriva. All of you might have known the story. Vali and Sugriva, they were very, very, very close brothers, affectionate brothers, and they lived for each other. And Sugriva is a loyal brother to Vali. Vali was ruling the kingdom of Kishkinda, and Sugriva was serving him. One day, there was a demon named Mayavi. This demon has provoked Vali that you have to fight with me. Then Vali chased him out of his definite arrogance and entered into a cave. Sugriva followed Vali. While Vali was entering into the cave, he told, "See, you stand here and guard this cave so that nobody else enters. I will finish this guy and come back." Vali went inside, and there was a terrible fight that ensued, but there was no outcome. There was no sounds heard. Sugriva waited at the gate, at the entrance of the cave for so long time that he was little scared. Hey, how many years my brother can fight? There is no sound coming. How can I, what should I, understand by this? And suddenly blood started flowing from the cave with huge roaring sounds of this Mayavi. Then Sugriva misunderstood that Vali might have got killed. That's why this guy was roaring, and this is the blood of Vali. And hence to avoid the further damage to the kingdom of Kishkinda, he closed the cave with a huge boulder. And then he went and reported back to the ministers of Kishkinda that Vali has, died, and so reason. This is what I feel. So what should be the next step of action? Then all of them said, a kingdom without a king is not recommended. So you become the king. So Sugriva became the king and started ruling. Suddenly, Vali came out of the cave and entered Kishkinda. He saw Sugriva on the throne. Definitely, in Vali's position, he would definitely misunderstand what Sugriva has done. That is totally acceptable because, that is in the heat of the arguments, you just definitely misunderstand people. So this Vali misunderstood that Sugriva wanted this kingdom and hence he wanted to kill me, and hence that boulder was placed in front of the cave. So he came, he bashed Sugriva, threw him out of the throne, and then started threatening him to kill. He abducted his wife Ruma also. Ruma is Sugriva's wife. He took her away. He took the riches of Sugriva. He took the power of Sugriva. Everything he has taken. Sugriva tried to explain things. Hey, Vali, my brother, I'm not like this. This is what has happened. But he could not listen. Ministers tried to explain. He could not accept. Tara, who is a loyal wife to Vali, multiple times reminded him that Sugriva is very loyal to you. You are losing a friendship of a great friend and a brother. Don't do this. But still he could not yield. Finally, this conflict was converted into such a way that where Sugriva wanted to kill Vali. And finally, we know what happened. Sugriva ultimately got Vali killed by Rama and with the help of Rama. And let us understand this case. There is a conflict that was there. And how was it, misunderstood, or how it could have been rectified? See, Sugriva has made a mistake. There is no doubt. Sugriva, knowing that the strength of Vali, he should have waited even more. He could have taken the help of his army. He could have done multiple things. But he could not use his intellect properly at that time. And then he took a decision in haste. Of course, it is, maybe not so reasonable. But still, he did everything in the best interest of Kishkinda. He wanted to protect Kishkinda from the wrath of Mayavi, the demon. So he wanted to protect it. He never had any intent to rule Kishkinda. He always wanted to serve his brother. So this we call it as mistaken inference. From the situations that we are present, when we are presented with what is dharmam and what is adharmam, we take, a lot of inferences which are misguided. Maybe because of lack of information, or maybe because of our choices. Whatever it is, the case with Sugriva is mistaken inference. This is a challenge, for the existence of propagation of dharma. When we want to follow dharma, our intellect has to be sound. Or if our intellect is not sound, we must be ready to learn it from a learned people. If we are not ready to bend in front of them, then our intellect will never become better. But now let us come to the case of Vali. Vali had enough chance to understand the situation. Vali has enough chance to do an inquiry. He could have put an inquiry commission on Sugriva, what has happened, why it has happened. He could have collected feedback, and then maybe he could have taken an action, or he could have punished, saying that now you are demoted from the position of a minister to a god. He could have given some punishment based on his inquiry. But did Vali do that? No. Vali has resorted something called as attribution error. In the field of psychology, attribution error is always trying to attribute adharmam to somebody and dharmam to us. When I become late to a class, for example, INDICA has given me some time to come to the session. When I come late to the session, I tell that because of the traffic, because of the personal emergencies I have, I came late, so you have to understand. But if the same person, if one of you comes late for a presentation that I am handling, if you give me the same reason, am I in a position to understand, accept, and empathize with it? When I do a mistake, when I take a situational decision, I say it is because of some certain situations. When the other person does the same thing, I attribute adharmam to him. So, Vali has done this error of attribution. Whatever I am doing is right. Anybody who is in my position will do the same thing. But whatever Sugriva has done is wrong. So he is supposed to be killed. This is what Vali has resorted to. So the haste in his decision making and overconfidence in his power has made Vali lose a loyal brother, great minister, and a powerful warrior. So how do we solve it? How do we, invite dharma in our mindset first and then transform into practice? First and the second thing is dharma is dynamic. Be open-minded in learning it. Dharma, coming late to the class, is adharmam. You came late to the class because there was an accident and you want to save a child there. That is dharmam. It's the same coming late to the class. is changed now. Because of your negligence, if it is coming in this way, it is wrong. Because of your service attitude, if you are doing this, it is the Vishesha Dharma is taking picture. So Dharma is so dynamic. So be open-minded to accept. And always give a benefit of doubt to people around you to understand them better. So that's why for Dharma Sankatams, for resolutions, the conflicts that arise in deciding, what is Dharma, what is Adharma, our mind should be filled with Ram, R-A-M, Ram. What is Ram? Of course, Sriram, but R represents realize. Realize that there is a possibility of error from your side. There is possibility of, reasonable positivity in others. When you realize it, you will become ready to apologize. When I say apologize, it is not verbal apology, but it is mending your thought. It is, making your mind conducive to accept different dimensions of life, different situations of life. And finally, mending. Mending means once you understand this, you become a better person and take a well-informed and reasonable choices. So Ram, realize, apologize, and mend. This will help us in resolving majority of the Dharma Sankatams that happens in our life. This is one of the case study. Do we have time or is it?
I think we are close to.
Okay. Then I'll take 5 minutes to finish it off. Okay. I'll just try to wrap it up in 5 minutes.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Then we have the conflict that happened between Manthara and Kaikeyi. See, the episode of exile of Rama is itself a great case study to understand Dharma Sankatams in various dimensions. The conversation that happened between Rama Dasaratha, Rama Kaikeyi, Rama Kausalya, Rama Lakshmana, Rama Bharata, Lakshmana Kausalya, Rama Sita. These conversations present us Dharma and Dharma Sukshmam. So Dharma is something which, we think which is appearing on the outside. But there is something called which is much deeper. That is called Dharma Sukshmam. We can understand Dharma and Dharma Sukshmam much better in the episode of Ayodhya Kanda in Ramayana much better. So, if you understand Manthara and Kaikeyi, Kaikeyi knows what is Rama. When I say Rama, what is Dharma? But she got carried away. She got exploited by the misinformation and disinformation campaign that Manthara has led. Manthara has a vested interest. Manthara has a vested interest to retain the position of a servant to the queen. But Kaikeyi should not have been so vulnerable, but she became so vulnerable. What are the reasons? Because you are not critical. Second, you did not seek any second opinion. Kaikeyi should have been critical. Okay, let us understand she got vulnerable. The other choice she had was, she should have asked somebody, maybe to Dasaratha, maybe to Kausalya, maybe to Rama himself, "Hey Rama, why are you doing this? Are you doing the same thing to me?" What Manthara is saying. Once the discussion would have happened, there would have been, avoidance of lot of, conflicts. What we have seen in Ramayana. So, in following Dharma, we have to be critical. And we also have to always seek a second opinion. Be open for second opinions. So, what is being propagated in the Dharma, in the form of Dharma, be aware of it. There are many campaigns that are going on now, which are providing information or which are, I would rather use, which are marketing Adharma as Dharma. And luring people into that. So, combat this disinformation. If you don't combat this disinformation, trust me, we are going to follow Adharma and project it as Dharma, which will lead us to a hypocritical life, which Ravana has done, which Duryodhana has done, which Karna has done, which Indrajit has done. Right? So, this is another case study. And what do what we do, what can we take as solutions to counter this hypocritical approach towards Dharma and Adharma is analysis paralysis. So we have to stop, doing this analysis paralysis. That means you be critical, but don't be so critical that your life, energy, thoughts, everything is lost only in thinking but not doing. At the end of the day, what is dharma? Dharma means something which you follow. Dharmo rakshati rakshitaha means when you follow dharma, it protects you. It is not that when you speak dharma, it protects you. You follow it, it protects you. So analysis paralysis has to be stopped. Next, tolerance and resilience. Bharata has displayed extreme levels of tolerance and resilience when he is being questioned for being adharmic. If you read the story of Bharata, it presents its inspirational situations that how we can counter the pulls of life. You know, Guha questioned him, Kausalya questioned him, Bharatvarṣa questioned him, Lakshmana questioned him. So many people have questioned him. But all that he has done is be resilient and tolerant in answering all of them with his actions. So dharma is more about action than preaching. So this is what Ramayana time and again emphasizes. Okay. Next, be an active listener. Don't have prejudices. When you have prejudices, I'm telling you, we can never resolve the Dharma Sankatams at all. Dharma Sankatam can be resolved only when you are having active listening. Next, I don't want to drag this much deeper. So what we have attempted in this book, Tavasvi maybe, or in Manasvi maybe, or the future book which is going to be launched on 30th of this month, Tejasvi, is to present the practical dimension of Dharma, how we can do, and how we can avoid challenges. See, basically, we have taken 5W1H format, which you must have already read. What is the situation? What is the value system? Why is it important for a human being? When and where did drama display? Who else displayed this kind of value systems elsewhere in our scriptures? What are the challenges for us to, when we try to imbibe this value system? How can we counter them? So these aspects we try to address these books in an analytical approach in the ready-to-use textbook format. So this is what was appreciated by the Vice President of India, and he gave from a modest background. When I never thought that this will be supported by a person of that stature. So we are really grateful for the then Vice President of India, Venkaiah Naidu Garu, for accepting this book, critically analyzing it, and seeing the value system in it. So every bit that we are trying to do now is to present the practical dimension of Dharma. Although we are taking the case study of Ramayana, we wanted to present how easy is it to follow Dharma. How can we make Dharma part of our daily life? This is what we try to do. And every aspect in this is the cover page of the book Tavasmi. And every element on this cover page has a reason. So there is a lens that is present on Rama. There are birds flying. One side there are 7 birds, other side there are 4 birds. There is a path, there is greenery. Everything has a meaning to it. And so let us given this in the limited time, I try to present a bit of what we have researched about, but definitely looking forward for this kind of interactions with all of you. And I thank you, INDICA Academy, especially Nagaraj Garu and his team, for choosing us and giving us an opportunity to present our dimension of Ramayana. Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Namaste. Thank you so much, Srirama Chakradhar ji, for a very well illustrated presentation.